How's it, punters? Welcome back to the Best Sports Betting Podcast. We are doing a load shedding special today, and Simon's down with COVID, so he's on the mend. So if you can forgive some of the lack of enthusiasm in his voice if it comes across like that. Yeah, Simon. So how are you feeling?
Yeah, it's been not too bad now. It's been nearly a week now actually since I picked it up. I think I was actually pretty much just after we recorded the last podcast. That's when I started to sort of feel the symptoms. So yeah, I managed to avoid it for what, more than 2 years now, but I've finally caught up with me. So yeah, I'm not feeling the best, but yeah, let's talk about some of the football results. Yeah, we expected Brighton or Spurs to get the better of Brighton, which didn't pan out for us. It was we didn't have any strong suggestions last week, but that was one bet that we did like a bit. And then we didn't expect to see 5 goals at Old Trafford when the United hosted Norwich, and Ronaldo actually scoring a hat trick there for his first one since 2008 January, which is when he scored a hat trick in a 6-0 win over Newcastle for Manchester United back then.
Yeah, he's come out. I think his wife had an unsuccessful, or the pregnancy. I don't know. I'm not sure what the term for that is, but it just there's some sad news coming out there from him. He published a letter today, so I'm not sure if he's going to be in action in the next couple of fixtures.
Yeah, well, they've got a very big one tonight, obviously, against Liverpool, which we'll chat about soon. But that'll definitely be a big blow for United if he isn't there.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. And then also Arsenal going down to Southampton. Time for Arteta to go at the end of the season. I mean, gosh, three losses on the trot, and we were chatting about this a bit earlier, and you said that really expected them to kind of break that funk there. The thing is, they're dominating possession. They're sitting with like 69% possession, but they're still losing.
Oh, it's absolutely the finishing touch, 100%. Yeah, I mean, I really thought that this would be the week that they would come out of that slump, but not to be. So yeah, not looking good for Arsenal. I mean, United have now crawled above them. If it only on goal difference, but still, it's really looking like it's going to be a great tussle towards the end of the season, over the next 6 weeks to see who can get the 3rd and 4th spot, really, because, only Liverpool and City, I think, are in the clear. Chelsea even still might have to fight for that 3rd spot. Who knows? We'll see.
Actually, one of the more interesting ends to the season in a long time. I'm actually quite excited about it. There's no clear-cut winner yet, and there's no clear-cut... Well, the relegation places are almost set. I guess you can... I guess which 3 teams are probably going to get relegated, and we're not sure what's going to happen with the top 4. So
yeah, I mean, very glad to see Newcastle now 12 points above those relegation places. So
picking up an unlikely win actually against Leicester. I thought.
Yeah, that was another. I mean, I must say I saw a little bit of value in Leicester last week. I thought that should have been a pick-em game. I just didn't think that Newcastle really deserved to be favourites in that spot, even though they were playing at home. So yeah, a nice 2-0 win there. I mean, a fantastic
2-1.
2-1 win.
Yes, I had both teams to score in one of my bets. That's how I
nice one.
Yeah,
fantastic. But it was a great in the dying minutes. That's Bruno Guneres. Very, very nice finish there. And yeah, the team's shaping up nicely. I'm very, very excited to see now that looks very likely that they're going to stay up. I'm very excited to see how Eddie Howe and the new management can start building the team over the next few years.
Yeah, lots more investments going to be coming into the club, and they're going to be keen to do that because they are going to stay up in the Premier League. I've no doubt about that. Unless there's some huge, like we lose 8 games in a row.
Yeah, it would be unlikely. Sure.
Yeah, some of the relegation candidates pick up 8 wins on the trot and whatnot, but I don't see it happening. And I'm glad that we're going to stay up. I did say at the beginning of the season I think we will stay up. But obviously that change of management really is bearing fruit now. But let's jump over to some of the Champions League results, Simon. Lots happening there, lots of upsets. Bayern are out. They drew 1-1 at home to Villarreal. Crazy scenes there.
Crazy, really crazy. Yeah, I mean, that was, I suppose, the one, again, we didn't have any very strong picks last week, but I did fancy Chelsea draw no bet against Real Madrid, which did come off, obviously, even though the Spaniards were the team that progressed to the semis. Benzema once again came to the rescue. 96th minute goal.
Extra time,
which obviously, exactly. well, hang on, prevented extra time, didn't it?
Yes, yes. But then they scored in extra
Yeah,
time to settle the result. Yeah.
that's right. Yeah, but obviously the away goals rule has been scrapped this year. So aggregate scores, when the aggregate scores are level, then they need to play extra time. So yeah, I mean, I can't say I'm really surprised by that result, but it was a good match, I must say. Both of those legs, I think, were probably some of the better games.
Yes.
In these quarterfinals, very, very, very.
Yeah.
Cool.
Then we had Atletico Madrid with the pretty dull 0-0 against City.
Yeah,
thought City were gonna have a chance there, but I guess they had a lot going on this weekend as well with FA, the cup,
yes,
qualifying
absolutely.
for the cup finals and all of that.
And another, I mean, I won't talk about that in any detail, but another fantastic game between the title leaders, the top two teams in the table. I mean, that was another fantastic game between Liverpool and City. They really just have earned their position where they are at the moment, and it's just so hard to separate these teams, home or away. I just think you're always in for a good game when those two teams are playing.
Yeah,
they're fantastic.
Definitely the sides to watch at the moment, just for as a neutral, especially. If there's a Liverpool game on or City game, you want to put it on, and when they play each other, it's even better. Liverpool, very interesting, 3-3 against Benfica. A bit of a goal fest there, a bit of a strange lineup that they went with.
Yes,
which I think resulted in the draw. But Liverpool won't be too upset.
No harm, no foul. Yeah.
And then interesting scenes in the Europa League. We don't really touch on that often in the podcast, but Barcelona, I'm not sure if you caught all that drama, Simon, with...
I didn't.
So basically there were 5,000 tickets allocated to Frankfurt fans. And there ended up being 30,000 Frankfurt fans in the stadium. 30,000 because the Barcelona fans had sold their tickets on the black market.
Wow. And is that sort of in protest or?
I don't know, to be honest. I've seen videos and I've seen reactions from the players and the coaches, and they're just stunned. It looked like they were playing in Germany. It was.
I mean, that seems like a coordinated effort.
Yes.
I mean, for that to happen on that sort of scale, surely that's very interesting.
And I think the manager or the club owners or the general manager, whatever you want to call him, has come out to say that he's embarrassed about it, because it is embarrassing. I mean, you're playing in a crucial playoff in the Europa League, and there's.
I mean, I guess the point is it's Europa League. The fans are sort of saying, why should we care about even playing in the second division of European football? Essentially, it's. A little bit late for a protest, I think, but I suppose that's probably where they're coming from with that.
Yeah, Barca in lots of trouble at the moment. Complete fall from grace. But let's jump over to some rugby, some sevens, Simon. That was over the weekend. South Africa put in a good showing. I didn't follow all of the action though.
Yeah, I mean, a little disappointing, I think, to be honest. Again, maybe a little bit better than Singapore, but yeah, we. I mean, with Fiji, Samoa, and New Zealand all back in contention, I think the Blitzbook are sort of coming back down to earth a bit.
Yes.
In Singapore last week, it was the US who took us out, and this time it was Samoa. I mean, we looked for the first half. We were 21-0 down in the first half against Samoa, and we did pull it back a little bit, but we couldn't turn the tide and beat them. But Argentina. They actually beat Fiji as quite big underdogs in the final, and that's their first win of the series since 2009.
Wow!
So I'm very excited for the World Cup in Cape Town in September, especially having missed out last time. So
are we going to be able to go to that? Is that going to be an event that they will actually? Let
it seems like it. It seems like it. It seems like it'll be full capacity at this stage. So hoping that's the scenario that plays out.
Yeah, I remember they had. Was it? I think it was the Sevens Cape Town that I went to with. I think old Betway hooked me up with some tickets to that, some nice box tickets. And, that was fantastic. I don't think they're going to be giving it to me again, but.
It was quite nice because as F&B customers this year, they got they let F&B customers were able to buy tickets earlier than the official sale date, so managed to secure a couple there.
I'm going to have to speak to some of the bookies to see if I can get a hookup, but we'll have to see what happens. Yeah, and then let's jump over to some of the upcoming sports. We'll take a quick look at the Premier League coming up, and we've got the big one, which is tonight, which is Liverpool versus Man United. I think that's Probably the
Well,
biggest game on the card for this week. Well,
yeah, I
other than
mean,
Chelsea Arsenal.
it's obviously English football's greatest rivalry, but I can't say the most excited I've ever been for this matchup. Just considering where the two teams are at the moment. Obviously, Liverpool on a much better trajectory. Look, I think until Eric Ten Hag comes over, or possibly Pochettino, but it looks very much like Ten Hag. There's no reason to believe that United's fortunes will kind of change for the better. We talked a bit briefly about this match last week, but I mean, I don't know. I can't really see anything but a Liverpool
No,
result.
no.
Yeah. I mean, you probably safe-ish backing them on the handicap.
That's what I'm
Um,
thinking. That's the only bet that kind of stood out to me. Handicap or maybe even both teams to score a few.
Well, funny enough, that's the question I find myself asking, and it's whether both these teams can score. And what you said about Ronaldo, and I haven't looked into any detail, but Ronaldo is the type of player who kind of gets up for these big matches, and he obviously did score a hat trick on the weekend. So if he's playing, it makes me think that a both teams to score bet might be a good option. Obviously, almost Liverpool's almost guaranteed to score. Let's be honest. So maybe odds of 1.77 isn't the worst price on BTTS at GBets. But I think with Ronaldo out, if he is out, as I said, I haven't looked into that. It might not be as good of an option. But both teams to score does look quite tasty. I think.
Yeah, Liverpool on the handicap. It's not a bad price, but it's going to have to be you have to win by 2 clear goals. You're going to get over even money on it. I'd always rather go with like Liverpool to win an over 2.5 goals. That's also not a bad.
Yeah, the over is set at about 1.55, so it's not going to be a huge price, but sure, you're going to get over even money, I think, or not.
Having a quick look here, Liverpool and over is 1.83, and Liverpool and under is 4.6. So I'd rather go with the over there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Liverpool going to pick up a win. I'm just wondering if it's not going to be another one of those blowout wins that Liverpool seem to enjoy inflicting on teams.
Yeah, I would not be surprised.
One of those 5-0s, that's why the over might appeal a little bit more than those both teams to score. Just give you that safety net.
Yeah, I mean the way they priced the overs, though, obviously you can see that there's a better chance of United scoring than not scoring. That's where the bookies have put it, which makes that obviously that over even a smaller price. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Actually, really like that Liverpool over 2.5. Just looking at it, so I think that's probably going to be my bet of the week. So lock that one in now if you can get it, about 1.83. And then tomorrow we have Chelsea versus Arsenal. I can't really say too much about different trajectories of these teams because Chelsea are playing fairly well at the moment. Arsenal are being Arsenal. I think it's going to be 4 losses in a row for them, which is pretty incredible considering it's Arsenal.
Yeah, it's really bad timing to come off 3 losses and then have to go and play at Stamford Bridge. That's a bit of a tough draw. That. Yeah, sure. I'm not jumping on Chelsea at that price, though. I must say, we're looking at.
I know
Evan on Chelsea.
It is, but that 1.87, 1.9 it's pretty good. Like, if you just looking at recent results and form and all of that, it seems kind of a bit too obvious, almost like a trap.
Yeah, I must say I won't back Chelsea in that position. They're definitely worthy favourites. There's no doubt about that. But I don't know. That price is not appealing enough for me.
I don't know. I think that price is a bit too generous from my perspective. Yeah, I think it should be more like 15 to 10. I think this is if you're looking to back Chelsea, I think this is a good price. I think we're in disagreement about this one, but Arsenal 3 losses in a row, and you look at who they've lost to. Brighton, Southampton, it's not exactly quality sides, and Arsenal do have a knack of losing to quality sides.
Yeah, that's true.
So, I don't. It's going to have to be a complete change of fortune for Arsenal to get anything out of this game. Whereas Chelsea, if they played a normal game, I feel they'd pick up a win. So that's why I do find that price a little bit surprising. I might take a bit of a long shot with Liverpool and Chelsea. One of those kind of big odd ones. Then we have another interesting one coming up on the 23rd, which is going to be Arsenal versus Man United. I think that's the only one that Arsenal might look to get a result, or might be able to get a result out of. Obviously, it's early doors because of the match tomorrow, but it is taking place on the 23rd, so kind of in this week.
Yeah, I mean, I must say, I think that that price on United is actually quite. I mean, I would have expected Arsenal to be at about 14-10 there, not 12-10. Yeah, I must say, at the moment it's still early doors, but I think the value in that match lies with United right now. But we'll see what happens. Obviously, with United, with Liverpool tonight, and then with Chelsea and Arsenal tomorrow. But I think there looks like a little bit of value actually in United in that game.
Yeah, I think if Arsenal can get a result against Chelsea, then they might be worth taking a bet. I don't think much is going to change with the United price though. Oh, excuse me. Like I just don't see United getting that result against Liverpool to make any change in that price.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
That's where my early doors kind of value is not that. It's really hard to pick a side. Probably going to be a draw. I think that's what I'll be picking. But still, I just can't go into any other bets other than that Liverpool to win and over 2.5. It's really screaming out to me at the moment. Then we have Newcastle taking on Crystal Palace. Not exactly a glamour fixture, that one, but Newcastle favourites. I think Crystal Palace could get a result here. I haven't been that impressed. I did say get off the Newcastle train. As soon as I got off, they picked up they lost it and they picked up a win. Hopped on the Spurs train, which abruptly crashed. But yeah, this one also screams draw to me. Crystal Palace.
Yeah, and I think it's priced like that. I mean, you're only getting 3.23 on the draw there with GBets, which is quite a low price for any draw. I mean, that's pretty much the expected result, and it probably will be low scoring. But then again, these kind of matches can get quite fiery as well. With any match with Palace can, I think. So yeah, a very difficult one to call, I think.
Yeah, then we've got a couple of other fixtures, this double game week. We're not gonna touch too much on them. I don't think it's really worth talking about. Another one that kind of jumps out is the Chelsea versus West Ham. Kind of crucial match there for the Champions League places. And then obviously there's a Merseyside derby coming up in 5 days' time. But difficult to talk about those, seeing that it is a double game week and we don't know the results from the last couple of games. But yeah. And then we've got some GP for you, Simon. Something to recover with nicely on the couch.
Yeah, well, it's Emilia Romagna, which is most people call it Imola, which is kind of like sort of plays second fiddle to the main Italian Grand Prix, which is Monza. I mean, that's the much bigger, more popular one. To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if Imola gets scrapped quite soon. With all these new races in Miami and Las Vegas and coming up, being incorporated into the F1 calendar, I wouldn't be surprised if Imola is one of those ones that gets scrapped sooner rather than later. But one thing I am very excited about, I don't particularly like this Grand Prix that much, but one thing I am excited about is they're doing the sprint format for qualifying again. So the sprint is 100 kilometers, and you're not required to make any pit stops. So how it worked last year is that points were awarded just to the top 3 drivers, but now points will be awarded to the top 8, and that'll obviously then determine the grid for Sunday, where the race remains the same. It's 56 laps, I think it is this week, and so on. But the qualifying obviously is the sprint, which is quite exciting. And also, what makes it different from last year is that the driver who won the sprint was awarded pole position. But this year, it's going to be the driver who sets the fastest qualifying time, which is, I think that also is a different dynamic. It should be more exciting. I quite like that. I think that puts, I would back Charles Leclerc over Verstappen generally to get pole position in most races. But for fastest lap, that makes me lean a bit more towards Verstappen. Not that I necessarily want to bet either of those 2 drivers, but it's just something to consider. But yeah, looking at the odds, I mean, it's very, very difficult as usual to find a decent bet. But I am tempted by Carlos Sainz, and the odds were not available on any of the South African betting sites, but I did manage to find
it's up on GBets. It is up.
Oh, they're up on
GBets.
okay. Yes, when I looked this morning, they weren't. So they're up now. So I was getting 13. What's it? 13-2 was what was available.
Yeah, 7.5. I see here. So
there we go. Yeah. That's it. Same odds. Yeah. So I think there's a bit of value there. I mean, he didn't qualify. He qualified very well in Melbourne, 2 weeks ago in Australia, and then he crashed out on the second lap. And I think he'll be a lot more focused this week. Also eager to prove he's as good as a driver as his teammate Charles Leclerc. So I think you're getting a little bit of an inflated price there on Science. But then again, after Mercedes' good showing last week, I don't know, maybe it's time to have a punt on Hamilton. There'll definitely be people that'll out there taking the 13-1. I mean, Mercedes were not bad last week. Look, they're definitely still lacking in pace. They are not quite where the Ferrari and the Red Bull cars are, but I just think that we've definitely seen a glimmer of hope from the Silver Arrows. So I think there's, it's going to be one of these situations where Hamilton's going to win one race, and then for the rest of the season, he's going to be like the favorite. So
yeah.
I wouldn't put anyone off. Just if you've got a few bucks to spare, just throw a bit on. I mean, even Russell. I'm not quite sure why there's such a huge gap in the odds between Russell and Hamilton. Well, there certainly was on odds checker. I'm not sure what is it on GBets.
Let me just see. I'm looking at the podium. So we've got Hamilton at 13 and Russell at 29.
Yeah, that's quite odd to me, to be honest. Obviously Hamilton, the much more experienced and when it comes down to it, I guess you could say better driver for sure. But I'm quite surprised by that. Look, either of those Mercedes drivers, I think right now are probably a bit of value. But yeah, Carlos Sainz, he would be. I think that is where the value lies this week, and I think I'll take him at 7.5 for the win.
There's a nice price on Hamilton to finish on the podium at 3.0. It's basically 2-1. It's pretty decent, to be honest. Just looking at at those around him. If you want to get involved there, I mean, I guess that 13 is also attractive, but then he has to win.
Yeah, I guess there's two ways to look at it. I mean, so those podium places are obviously only 3, right? And yes. if the odds go, basically you can kind of you expecting Verstappen and Sainz Verstappen and Leclerc to take up 2 of those positions in most races. So you kind of then, the thing with the pole is that you basically then there's only one position left. So I think that generally with the longer prices, you get a little bit more value on backing a winner outright. Obviously, you got more chance of winning if you're backing a podium because there's 3 places. But I just think that number can be a bit more inflated on the outright odds. So I agree with you. I think that there's definitely a nice chance that one of the Mercedes drivers will end up in that 3rd position. But I think the outright, rather take the outright odds and have a bit of a gamble at a low stake.
Yeah, that's also a good point. Hamilton just hasn't quite done enough his car hasn't done enough this season to justify a kind of a reasonable punt on something that's like 2-1, which you'd also have to put a much bigger stake on to get a decent return. Not that the odds are bad, but you're going to get a lot more value for your smaller bet at 13. So interesting that. And Simon, that's pretty much all the sports that we've got to talk about this week. We do have the new Palace Bet 50 Rand sign-up bet promotion. You want to tell us a little bit about how that works?
Yeah, well, this is quite a relief because, Palace Bet actually haven't had a welcome offer for a few months now. They've only had their EPL competition, which I won't even bother talking about.
No.
Nothing really great shakes there. But basically, they've introduced a new 50 Rand free bet, which, works very similar to the one that it's now changed, but, the one that you would get at Hollywood Bets, where you sign up and you'll get the free bet. And the wagering required on that is just once. So you'll just have to place your bet once at odds of 9-10 for singles, or 4-1, so that's odds of 5 for multi-bets, and each leg would need to be 1.7 or greater.
I really don't understand that part of the terms and conditions. I mean, if you're letting us take a single bet at 1.9, it's just I find it a little bit funky that you want to have us have a few legs of 1.7. It just seems a little bit high.
I agree.
But hey, 50 Rand for free, so...
It is, yeah. I mean, a 50 Rand free bet is always a good thing. I mean, it's a decent offer. And I think, obviously a lot of punters prefer that to a deposit bonus. So that's it's simple as that. What you'll need to do is in the registration form on the final page, there's a little box there where you will fill in your bonus code, which is that bonus code is
welcome free bet, I think.
Welcome free bet, one word.
One word. One single word.
And if it doesn't credit to your account, just get onto the live chat and just ask the agent to credit it. If it might even credit without the bonus code. Sometimes these things happen as well. So,
yes.
but the important thing is, if you don't want to use the free bet for any reason, you must get it removed. So contact support and ask them to remove it before you start betting, because then you will be locked into the wagering.
And if you do want to withdraw your winnings, I believe you need to make a qualifying deposit as well. I'm not sure how much that is, but I would just make the minimum deposit and play through that once, and then you'll be able to withdraw.
Yeah.
Superbet's also got that nice offer where they've changed it to from 10 free spins on the Habanero games to 100 free spins. I think they're only valued at like 16 cents or 5 cents or 10 cents, whatever it is. It's a very small amount.
Yeah.
But it's still nice to burn through 100 spins for nothing.
Yeah, it's nice. I mean, obviously, and that includes that's a part of a bundle. So you get your 100 free spins plus a 50 Rand free bet, so similar to the Palace bet offer. And then you get a 100% match up to 5,000.
Yeah, so some very nice offers out there. And I think, as I understand, there are some more offers coming or in the pipeline. Hopefully Betway can come back with their free bet offer, because now that they've dropped it, everyone else seems to be coming out with with free bet offers. So some really curious timing there on their side. But guys, that pretty much wraps up this week's podcast. I hope you guys have a good week, and if you guys are in KZN, my thoughts are with you. Lots of flooding going on there at the moment, and also load shedding. Good luck with that, guys. Hopefully we can get through all of this. But yeah, guys, thanks for tuning into the podcast, and we'll catch you in the next one. Have a good one, guys. Cheers.